Hey everyone, I hope you got to get outside today. It was such a beautiful day, and I was gonna tape outside today, but it ended up getting dark on me. So we're gonna continue to read, and we are on chapter 10, which is called Science Class Psychic. And again, we are reading Kate Messner's All the Answers. So here we go. When Ava came down for breakfast Friday morning, Dad was scribbling on a big piece of paper. Give me more, he urged Marcus and Emma. If we keep brainstorming, something amazing is going to come up. Are you giving up on the world-famous Mountain Man sandwich? Ava asked. Nobody seemed excited about it, Dad said. I don't understand. There's a place in Rochester that has a world-famous garbage plate. That's what they call it for real. It's nothing but a burger and home fries and macaroni salad covered with hot sauce. And they do great. How is a garbage plate better than a Mountain Man sandwich? Dad shook his head. Anyway, let's move on. Who has a new idea? World's biggest pineapple, Emma shouted, dribbling orange juice down her "Hello, my name is polyester" name tag. Dad wrote that down. Pineapples don't grow here, Marcus said. He poked at his phone for a few seconds. Plus, there's already a world's greatest pineapple in Australia. I want to go there, Emma wiped the juice off her name tag. They have koala bears. Most fruits and vegetables are spoken for, Marcus said. Castroville, California has the world's largest artichoke. Ellerby, North Carolina, and Strawberry Point, Iowa both claim they have the largest strawberry. I guess the North Carolina one is a building painted red with black seeds, and the Iowa people say that doesn't count. So their statue is the biggest. And Gaffney, South Carolina has the world's biggest peach at the top of a water tower. He squinted at his phone. It looks like somebody's butt. Peach butt, Emma sang, then collapsed into a fit of laughter. Come on, you guys, focus, Dad said. Any ideas, Ava? World's biggest? I don't know. Maybe she could ask the pencil later which world's biggest and world famous things were available. Though that seemed like the kind of question the pencil might have issues with. The pencil had a lot of issues. Let the kids get ready for school, Graham said, clearing dishes. Busy day for you guys? We're playing recorders in music class, Emma said. That'll be fun, Graham said. World's biggest sap bucket, Dad exclaimed, writing furiously. I bet nobody's got that. We can look it up later, Ava said, then turned to Graham. I have a vocab quiz in English. And I've got a physics test, Marcus said. Well, good luck, Graham said. I'll say a prayer for you both. I don't need a prayer, Graham. Marcus stood up and slung his backpack over his shoulder. I'm prepared. I'm sure you are, Graham blew him a kiss. So you go answer questions. I'll be here praying, and between the two of us, we'll have it covered. Ava laughed. She didn't know any other families that were so weird about religion. Her parents believed in God but didn't go to church or talk about it much. Her Aunt Jayla in Vermont was a Buddhist or something. Graham was Graham. And Marcus had proclaimed himself an atheist last year. Ava loved going to church with Graham because the stained glass quiet felt so calm. But she still wasn't sure what she really believed. Maybe she'd ask the pencil which religion was actually right. Ava loaded her backpack with her books and folders and the bag of goldenrod gauze. She slipped the pencil into the smallest pocket, put on a jacket, and headed out to meet Sophie. Ugh! Ethel screamed as Ava ran past. She splashed into a puddle and sighed. Quiz days were bad enough without having a soggy sneaker. Sophie was waiting at the bottom of the driveway, twirling around with her purple umbrella. I have the best idea ever. What's that? Ava was pretty sure it was about the pencil. The pencil seemed to have taken over most of Sophie's brain. We can open up our own business like we're psychics, and we'll answer questions and tell the future but we're not psychics. Ava pulled her hood over her head. It was starting to rain, and the pencil doesn't tell the future anyway. Sophie jumped up onto the curb and walked on her tiptoes. We won't have to tell the future. We'll just know things like who likes who and where lost homework assignments are and stuff. It'll be fun. Maybe. Ava had actually planned to leave the pencil in her locker today so she wouldn't be tempted to use it on the vocabulary quiz. But by the time she got to school, the first period bell was ringing, so she didn't have a chance. Ava still had the pencil in her backpack when she got to English. That's where it stayed during the quiz. She only longed for it once when she couldn't quite remember what the word obdurate meant, but she guessed. Even if she got it wrong, she'd have a grade of 90. You have the goldenrod gall things, right? Sophie asked on the way to science. Ava nodded. We're doing a lab with them today. When they got to Mrs. Rupert's room, every table was set up with paper towels and a steak knife, as if they were going to eat the goldenrod galls for a snack. Have a seat so we can start, Mrs. Rupert said from her demonstration table. We're going to be cutting open the goldenrod galls you brought today. If you don't have any, that's okay. I have extra. You'll insert the knife partway into the gall and then twist it. She did that and the gall split open. What we're looking for is... Mrs. Rupert squinted at the two halves. Oh, this is gorgeous. She sounded as if she'd found gold or at least chocolate inside. When she walked around, all Ava saw was a wiggly white grub type thing. Here we have a goldenrod gall fly larva. Mrs. Rupert went on, this one's lively, but when you cut open your galls, you'll find that not all of the larvae will have fared so well. Some will have fallen prey to parasitic wasps or beetles. And if there's a visible hole in the gall, your larva may have been eaten by a downy woodpecker or chickadee. Ready to get started? Ava and Sophie were in different groups for science. Sophie went off to a table with Alex Weinstein and Leo Kim, while Ava left her backpack by the door and set to work cutting open galls with Luke Barnway and one of the Mason twins, Kylie or Marissa. Ava can never tell the difference and figured it was rude to ask. It was a pretty neat lab. Ava's group got off to a rough start when Luke forgot they were supposed to insert the knife halfway and twist. So he sliced their first larva right in half. But then they found a whole bunch of live larvae and 2 galls where those special wasps had broken in and eaten the larvae. Whoa, do that again, someone called from a table across the room. Ava wondered what they'd found. When she looked up, she saw 2 lab groups gathered around Sophie. But Sophie wasn't holding a goldenrod gall with a larva or a wasp or a beetle. She was holding the pencil. Ava put down her knife and rushed over. Why'd you take that out of my backpack? What are you doing? She whispered. I'm showing everybody how we've been working on our psychic powers. Sophie grinned and started writing on a note card in her hand. Oh, great goldenrod gall fly spirits, psychic Sophie whispered as she wrote. Tell me what rests in the great unknown of the goldenrod gall in Alex's hand. She looked up at the ceiling for a few seconds, then returned to Alex and said, Inside you will find not 1 but 2 live beta larvae. She motioned for him to cut the gall open, and everyone gasped when Alex showed the milky-colored larvae inside. Sophie, put that away, Ava whispered urgently, while everyone was busy with Alex and the larvae. We're going to get in trouble. Sophie glanced up at the front of the room. Mrs. Rupert was busy trying to teach Annika Rock how to cut open a gall without slicing the larva in half. No, we're not. Come on. She held the pencil out to Ava and whispered, You do it. It's fun. Ava shook her head. Put it away. We shouldn't. Sophie, do your psychic powers work with everything? Leo asked. Pretty much, she said. What do you want to know? Varnway's middle name. He won't tell anybody. Dude, she's not going to guess, Luke Varnway said. And I'm not telling you. You'd never let me hear the end of it. I do not guess. I know. Sophie scribbled on the index card in her hand and announced, And your middle name is Quackenbush. She said it quietly, but Leo heard and made sure everyone else did too. Quackenbush, no way! He might have thought Sophie made it up until he saw the look on Luke's face. For a few seconds, his mouth hung wide open, enough to catch 100 goldenrod gall flies. Then Leo burst out laughing and Luke whirled to face Sophie. Who told you that? She made big, innocent eyes. No one told me. I just knew. Quackenbush, seriously? Leo made pretend wings out of his arms and started flapping around making duck sounds. Boys, Mrs. Rupert glared from her desk. Sorry, Leo called, but he didn't stop quacking. He just quacked more quietly. Shut up, Luke hissed. It was my grandma's maiden name, okay? My parents wanted to honor our family, and they didn't figure anybody would ever use it. He glared at Sophie. Soph, you have to finish this lab. Ava squeezed through the crowd around the table to try again. Just give me. But Jessica Brainbridge darted in front of her. Sophie, she said, then lowered her voice. Can you tell me if Jason likes me? Her face was all flushed. Sophie didn't bother to write that one. Nope, he doesn't. Are you sure? Positive. How about Tucker Ulster? He's an 8th grader. Sophie, come on, Ava whispered. Things were getting louder at their lab table. Ava was sure Mrs. Rupert would be swooping in any second. She wasn't as strict as Mr. Farkley, but when she got mad, she had this super calm voice that was scarier than any yell Ava had ever heard. Give me the pencil, Ava whispered urgently. She held out her hand, but Sophie ignored it and started writing casually, while she made a big show of asking the ceiling if the other kid liked Jessica. The great goldenrod golf fly spirits say Tucker doesn't know who you are, Sophie told her, but who knows? Maybe he would like you if he did know. Hey, Sophie, Alex shouted. I'm not going to warn you again. Keep your voices at a low working level, Mrs. Rupert called, frowning over her glasses. Ava tried again. Soph, if we don't get back to work, she's going to. Sophie, Tyler squeezed in front of Ava. How about using your psychic powers to see where I left my math binder this morning? Hold on a sec. Sophie scribbled and gazed at the ceiling. It's in the garbage can in the gym locker room, she said. Luke swiped it and dumped it there while you were shooting baskets before school. Tyler whirled around towards Luke, who held up his hand. Dude, that's not true. He was way too loud. Ava looked up in a panic. Mrs. Rupert was coming and she did not look happy. Ava held out her hand urgently. Sophie, give me the pencil. You're such a jerk. Tyler stepped toward Luke. My homework was in there. Now it's laden. Is there a problem? Mrs. Rupert stood glaring at them, hands on her hips. Yeah, there's a problem. Tyler pointed to Luke. Luke Quackenbush Varnway threw out my homework. I did not, and don't call me that, Luke pointed at Sophie. She started all this. Ava watched Mrs. Rupert's eyes settle on Sophie and then on the bright blue pencil in her hand. Oh no. So tomorrow night we will read chapter 11, which is called Sharpening and Shortening. So that should be very interesting. So we're starting to have some complex development. So good to share this story with you. I hope you're enjoying time being outside. Make sure you do that. And hopefully I will see you very soon. We'll tune in tomorrow for chapter 11. Have a great night. Bye, guys.